Let's talk mediumship. It is one of my favorite topics. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I love, love, love helping to teach other people how to do it on their own so that they can have their very own experiences. If you're wanting to learn how to sharpen your mediumship skills, or maybe you want to dip your toe in at all, I highly suggest that you start sharpening your psychic abilities, because those are the puzzle pieces that are going to help you to receive the subtle information. And depending on what kind of medium or like what type of psychic ability you lead with is going to have everything to do with how you're receiving messages and how you're communicating with spirit. The first thing that I tell anybody who is wanting to learn about mediumship is that you need to address your fears. Just address them, because Hollywood and beyond has like a legit way of making people fear things that it's just, mediumship is one of the most healing things I think I've ever actually truly encountered and had the pleasure of learning and sharpening my skills at doing, and deepening what I consider to be like my own spiritual practice by doing that, because I'm taking the veil and basically setting it ablaze so that it's just constant flow of oneness, I guess. In many places around the world, mediumship is like a natural part of everyday life. And for some reason, it's viewed very, very differently here in America, especially if you were raised in a very religious household. Yay, church camp. First and foremost, I do suggest that you nail down and get very comfortable with your grounding and shielding practice. This is just going to help keep the energies astray, and it's basically setting a boundary with the spirit realm. A lot of people start to actually have an experience, and then their human brain comes back into play, and they literally gaslight themselves out of understanding that they really just had an experience. So if you're starting your practice, don't doubt your abilities, and don't doubt the psychic hits that you're getting or when you're actually having communication with a spirit. If you find that you're having a lot of fear and having a hard time stepping into your mediumship practice, realize that this is also like residing in the root chakra. So as a human experience, we are very earth chakra bound, right? So when we have fear, not only does that become a psychic block for us, but it's also a form of shadow work. So when we dive into unpacking the why behind the fear of mediumship, then that also helps us to heal that area. And a lot of times this can be generational healing for many of us. So a helpful tip for a mediumship session is going to be lighting a candle while you sit down to do your practice. The spirit realm, actually, the way energies work with that is like they're able to kind of feed off of the energy of the flame. And so therefore they can kind of connect energetically better, and communication is always easier when I light a candle. If you're ready to sit down and try your practice, then what I would suggest is getting a picture of somebody that perhaps you don't know. So you could always ask a friend to give you a picture of like their auntie or their grandma or somebody that you don't actually know. And that way you don't have extra information ahead of time, right? So if you don't have those extra prompts, then you're more likely to understand that you are truly receiving information. What you're doing when you have this picture is you're opening up your mind. You're allowing yourself to just be completely open to receiving any kind of information from this individual, be it feeling sensations physically. Maybe you have emotions coming up. Maybe you close your eyes and all of a sudden you're seeing things. You may hear things, you may hear a voice, you may hear a name, you may see words in your third eye screen. There are many, many ways to receive information. But write these hits down. Write everything that you get, write it down. Even if it's like one thing, good job. You got one thing. Tomorrow it might be more. Practice is clutch when it comes to mediumship. It's super important that you show up to your practice every day, and just like anything else, consistency is key. Above everything else, have fun. Mediumship is about having fun. It's about having that connection with what we are so often pre-programmed and told at a young age is not real, or it doesn't exist, and there's no way to communicate or connect with our loved ones who have already crossed over. Have fun. Make it personal. Make it your own. Not every medium works the same either. So that's That's a thing. Just because one medium can do and communicate in one way doesn't mean that someone else is going to work in exactly that way. It is all about your special gifts, talents, and abilities that you incarnated with and how that works.